opportunity to brief you on water and sewer happenings for January. So January went pretty well. We didn't have any violations or complaints to report of. There was kind of a few reports we needed to file with New York State DEC. These reports are provided for you guys in the attachment section of the status report. The reports included the wastewater treatment plant flow and loadings report for the year, also the water treatment chemical usage report for the year, as well as the water treatment plant withdrawals. And so this allows us to kind of look at what we're losing and what we're not billing. So happy to report that the Village of Clayton, partially with our leak detection services that we seek every year, we've got a very tight system, so we're losing about 12%, and anything under 20% is considered very well. So rest assured, we're running pretty good in those sense. Now, if we could tighten up, that sewer system will be in very good shape. We did have a couple repairs. EMA arrived on scene on the 7th, and they repaired the VFD on the high lift pump number 2. We finally got the soft start installed on the low lift pump number 2, which, if you recall, during power outages, the generator had failed to initiate this pump. And so, fortunately, Aqualogics was able to come up and install a soft start for us and put it through its testing phases, and we were able to run that pump off the generator in a crisis situation. That being said, there still is 2 more pumps at the low lift pump house that should be looked at to have the soft starts installed as well, just so we're taxing each pump equally for preventative maintenance purposes. So now even when we're running power off the utility, it will go through this soft start unit and slowly bring up the amperage on this pump and then slowly decrease it as it turns off. Whereas the other pumps 1 and 3 don't operate like that. They're slammed on and slammed off. So what we're kind of worried about is maybe these other pumps being taxed a little more when they were given the same amount of shelf life and put into operation at the same time. So that's something to explore. I'm working with Aqualogics right now, working out what it would cost for their field service to come out and provide that for us. So we also had a couple new repairs that were just recently addressed this past week. We did lose communications with the whole force main. This is at the prison, LS1A, the park, and LS2 on Pilo Road. So we did have to make an emergency call to Aqualogics. It was after hours when this occurred. The severity of the alarm kind of warranted the call. So we do have a field service bill coming up from Aqualogics for that repair. They had to install basically a new RTU telemetry unit. And so they had these items on the shelf, and they're able to come up on a moment's notice and install that for us. So we did regain communications within the day. So another good reason to keep continuing this business with Aqualogics. They're fantastic. We call them at a moment's notice and they show up. And I've had reports from other tank operators throughout the Tri-County area where they're not as responsive. So that's really good for us. So we also had an emergency call that fire suppression system at the hotel had failed overnight last week. Real cold.
I was there.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
we got woken up in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Fortunately, the system didn't show any loss of pressure. There wasn't much we were able to assist with on their end. They were able to contain the leak and close off the water within the building. So we didn't have to turn off water in the street. That, unless you guys have any questions, basically covers the status report. And I'd like to discuss the EDU assessment that was also provided last month, just to see if there was any questions you guys might have as far as changes.
Yeah, can I ask a question about the soft start? So the one that we already did, how much was that to do that?
A little over $2,000.
2,000. So I mean, obviously you're going to bring us a figure with the other 2, but yeah, it seems like logical sense because it's like you're saying versus slowly in and out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ron? I had questions. Last meeting we provided some relief for the pool on East Line Road. And I wanted you to go over how that was going to be implemented. We voted for relief, but we really didn't discuss much on exactly how that was to be implemented. So like right now, I'm looking at, that's account 144?
Correct.
Yeah, and so the recommended EDU is going to be increased by 3?
Correct. Now this was based off of their last year's usage, and the reason for this jump is they are aware of a leak in their drain, and so they have been consuming that much water just to keep their pool at the fill line. They were aware of this leak. They didn't have any quorums with the EDU adjustment based off of that. So what that relief we were referring to would account for sewer use on this account. Okay, so we are looking to withdraw the sewer use on this account and separate its own account on the bathhouse, where the bathhouse, the newly established account, will be metered. Therefore, we will meter the water going into the bathhouse and charge a 1-for-1 water to sewer ratio based off of the bathhouse's consumption. Now, the concern was that it didn't seem fair for the town to have to be paying into a sewer usage fee for their pool when none of the water actually, in fact, enters the sewer system.
But right now, is the bathrooms and stuff, are they metered separately, or?
They're not metered at all. They are part of the same account. And
Okay,
so if you were to look at this account right now as it stands, maybe 1% is actually being accounted for their sewer use through their toilets being flushed and their showers being run in the bathhouse.
You were mentioning that they were going to meter that then.
They've been issued a memo saying that the village had approved them splitting off this pool house into a separate account. Now it's up to them. We won't implement that until we have a meter online. I'm going to be providing them a meter that will be cellular read capability right into our billing system, so they will be able to.
How is that going to have to be installed?
Well, it's up
Is
there.
that underground, or?
It could be on the bathhouse. If that's the case, if it's on the bathhouse, then we've done this in other places too, where we will withdraw the amount of gallons that's recorded on that meter from the master meter. If the master meter is upstream of the new meter, there is ways of accurately accounting for their usage. It's hard to say how we're going to implement that now because I don't know exactly where their engineers are going to be putting this meter per se. So it's generally, we like to keep it in an insulated building. I'm not sure if they run the heat in the bathhouse during the winter time, so I don't know if it's feasible to put a meter in there. That would be their most economical way of metering. Otherwise, they would have to put a mag meter on their sewer line. When you're talking larger diameter plumbing lines, it's pretty much $1,000 per inch. So when you only need a 3/4 inch water supply line coming from that bathhouse, maybe you've got a $700 meter, whereas you've got a sewer meter, it's going to cost a lot more. So I have yet to determine where exactly this meter is going to be placed in the whole conveyance for their operation, but it won't be implemented until we know that meter is on there, online and in fact recording.
Okay, I guess where I'm going with this is that I'm not feeling that the village should pick up the cost of them, modifying it.
They're not, we won't.
We won't.
We won't.
That's
So
their
they'll buy
engineers. They're gonna.
Yeah.
I'll provide the meter for them at cost.
their cost,
Okay,
yes.
that's what I'm looking
At cost.
for. Okay. And typically, so the pool is being charged EDU, which is just like everybody else. It's separated, correct?
Correct.
So after we're done with this, what are we going to see here? Are we going to see, if it was listed right now at 9, are we going to see 4.5, or?
We're going
what
to
do we
lose
expect?
2 to 3 EDUs on that sewer account
Okay.
when everything is washed out. It'll be an adjustment of 2 or 3 EDUs minus the sewer account.
That's the sewer account, not the water. They're
So-
not going to be getting free water or pay for less water. They're just being charged too much for sewer. that they
Right, but
don't.
typically it's like everybody else, and this is where I need the information, is that I get a bill, it says 1 EDU, I pay that, right, and that's including both, right?
Mhm.
I don't know what is what, as far as the separation between the two.
Well, it says right on your bill.
It does?
So
Yeah,
the,
it tells you on your bill how much you're paying for water and how much you're paying. It'll say what the EDU is, then any additional water, because sometimes my water at my office is
Okay.
$1.50 used, but I'm still paying $2.55 for 1 EDU. So all the bills say that,
Okay.
yeah,
typically it's 1 for 1.
yeah.
The pool account is under unusual circumstances where they currently are being billed 50% of their water rate for their sewer rate.
Okay.
When realistically, it's probably 1 to 3%.
Jeff, you're talking about, I'm sorry, Blake, you're talking about the town pool?
Correct.
Yes.
So are we opening the door to all the other pools in the village?
No,
No, sir. They currently will be billed based off of their water consumption if they're filling that pool. You know, that's how their water and sewer ultimately gets billed.
So-
We don't have sewer meters, we only have water meters.
So if I understand from the meetings before, the town is going to get a different billing period just for the water on their pool?
No, they're
No.
just gonna get a separate account.
Okay, so we're going to allow everyone else with a pool to do that as well?
no.
No.
But I used to have a pool, excuse me, I had a pool, and it's really quite interesting that you don't use that much more water with your pool. Your water bill doesn't go up that much, and my pool had numerous leaks. I lost a lot of water. But no, we're not changing it for residential. No, it'd only be, that's a commercial pool.
Currently, the pool's using between 500 and 600,000 gallons a year.
So what do you think that this amount is going to be estimated as ballpark?
3 EDUs.
I mean, in money.
Well, I could provide that once I work up the money. However, you might be able to notice that their EDUs for the water is increased
Yeah.
by 3.
Yeah, yeah. I was just curious, there's gotta be.
Right, this year it's a wash. Next year it may not be. We'll have to look and see if they fix that leak. That's up to them. But they didn't have any quorums of this 9 EDU being billed for their water because they do understand they have a leak and they do understand that it requires that amount of usage or consumption to keep that pool at full level all summer.
I mean, my question was just simply, how much are we reducing the amount that we're putting into our water sewer that is going to have to be made up? Although you know what I mean?
Nothing has changed as far as the water that we are accepting.
No, what I'm saying is right now we're getting X number of dollars from them for the pool.
Mhm.
And we gave them relief for the sewer part of it, and I was just curious, is that $10,000? Is that 1,000?
Well, it's 3 EDUs, so it's about $2,000, $2,500.
That's what I was looking for, thank you.
But that's got to come from somewhere else, right? It's not
And-
just going to go away.
And mind you, the EDU rate fluctuates as well. It's based off of our operation and our projected revenues and everything else. So that's why we speak on terms of EDUs. That could change minorly, of course.
So that pool's been there for quite a while, correct? So
Yes.
that arrangement was made at some point between the water system and the town many years ago, I presume. And someone agreed to that arrangement.
Correct. Yeah.
So now, and I understand from having been to other meetings before I was in this role, they have come back a couple of times and argued, and it's never gone anywhere.
They've never come here before, to the
Right.
village, as long as I've been here.
And the way I understand
No,
it, this year
it's
was
never
very
come to the
glaring
village.
because of their consumption, because of their water demand with the leaks.
So, but my original point was is that somewhere, somebody agreed to that rate, and now we want to change it.
No, we're not changing the rate. If, I'm just gonna use very simple numbers. If the water is $5 is their water bill, they're still going to pay $5. Now, you're correct, yes. If their sewer bill is $5, they may pay $3, but they're still paying completely for water.
I get that part. Mike. But the point is that money they're not gonna pay for sewer now, or don't wanna pay for sewer, is going to be spread amongst the rest of the users, correct? It's not like it's going to go away.
Correct. On the grand scheme of things, it's a drop in the bucket. We see bigger fluctuations with the prison population. For instance, we were 400 inmates, now we have 700. That's a difference of like $70,000, $80,000. So when I see, a difference of $2,000 to $3,000.
I kind of like to see the numbers that are involved with, the real numbers that are involved with this. I get the examples, I appreciate that, but I'd like to see the real numbers that are involved in this as well, as soon as you're ready.
Well, didn't we pass this resolution a couple of weeks ago? So we've already we passed it and we told the town that this is,
I still like to see the impact.
well, sure, you're more than welcome to see the impact anytime. But to go back and reverse it now, I think is
I realize
incorrect.
it's been passed, Mayor, and I don't expect us to do that. I'm just wondering if we look through it completely and to see what the impact financially will be to the rest of the residents. But anyway, okay,
To the residents that pay water and sewer.
correct.
So any additional questions in reference to the EDUs?
Yeah, I have just one more, and we're talking about the prison here. So the prison is going to be increased by 141?
Correct.
I was hoping that maybe sometime in the near future we could take a look at what the impact to our water and sewer would be if we lost our prison. I mean, with things going on today, kind of makes me want to take a look at it. Hopefully that never happens, but I think maybe we should be prepared for the worst. So if you,
We
do you
have
think
done
that would be a good idea?
And your idea is fine, we can revisit it again. We have done that because we've been under that threat numerous times.
Okay.
And it has been done. I don't want you to think that we're just not paying attention to the possibilities, because every year with the governor's budget, there's another prison. And yeah, no, you're correct, but we have looked at it. And the conversation has often then comes about, so what are you gonna do about it? Well, we don't know what to do, because now you've got to go out and find X number of EDUs. So where do you find those EDUs? There's no big buildings, with the exception of the Art Center, which wouldn't accomplish that, to absorb those EDUs. And we don't have any space within the village to put up another large structure or development. It's a tough one, there's absolutely no doubt. And no one's come up with a good idea how we can take care of that problem.
So if you did this in the past, what was the actual impact? I mean, as far as percentage increase?
He would I know that Jeff has those
I mean,
numbers.
I have the numbers,
Yeah,
I can
yes.
provide what a deficit would look
Yes.
like without that.
But it's not a pretty
Prison.
picture, for sure.
It's
No,
not.
I didn't think it
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah,
but
no,
I was
it's
just-
not.
And the other thing you have to wonder is what kind of relief would we receive for these agreements with the state? I mean, we had built millions of dollars of infrastructure along that 9-mile-long corridor, including 3 pump stations and force mains and relief valves.
Now, when we had a problem with them, wasn't it last year or a year and a half ago with the
23
sewer?
with the meter.
Yeah,
correct.
with the meter.
Mhm.
The problem got fixed and they paid the back bill with pretty much no problem.
They didn't
Yes.
even balk. Yep. We said, we discovered an error, the meter wasn't reading correctly, and we again, like the pool, we agreed to charge them a sewer rate based off of their percentage from their water usage, which we had to get from Cape Vincent. And we were able to provide that for them. We presented the numbers, and they said, okay. And
Wrote the check.
they wrote a check.
It was brought up a few years ago. I can't believe that you did this agreement without an agreement, just pretty much a handshake. There's no contract with the state. I was not part of that at that point. I have no idea how it developed into that. Other people have said, well, good luck getting a contract from the state. I don't know, that's just what I've been told in the past, but there was no contract at all. And I can't answer why there was no contract.
I'm fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? So could we have a motion to accept the EDU changes as presented?
I'll make that motion to change the EDUs.
In a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Wilder?
All right, good evening, everybody. Short month reporting for zoning. I'm assuming everybody got the reports that got sent out earlier today. No planning board this last month. The zoning board of appeals actually is this evening. I have one application, which is Greg Pepp for area variance. I've got some discussion below that I'll pick up. No joint ZBA planning board or mayor coordination meeting this month. Limited permits, I think I had 4 or so, looks like 3 here. Got 2 for signs. One is for the new griddle diner that's going in where the barbecue place used to be. So that's coming around. At 340 Riverside, Olive and Hope is putting in a salon there at the old popcorn place. So I've got a sign permit there. The other permit that we're working on internally is for Lions Field Fieldhouse. We did the referral to the Jefferson County Planning Board. I spoke to them this week. They're actually having a meeting. Their monthly meeting is tomorrow night. So we should have a determination mailed out to us within the next couple of days. I don't see any issues. I was able to confirm that Andy Niven is our point of contact with the Jefferson County Planning Board. The variance request that we did receive this month, again, Greg Pepe, he's actually looking to do a subdivision of his property on 210 Cartier. Issued him a permit, tax map. It's going to divide an existing property into 2 sections. So therefore, he's going for a variance. They're going to be smaller than the 15,000 square feet requirement for a lot size in that district. I forget which one it is. I think it's just general residential. New variance came through this last week at 410 Merrick for Megan Caddick. She's looking at the possibility of a garage on the back side of her house. She's got very, very small lot, very small area. We're looking at a 8-foot variance on one side and a 5 on another side variance and back variance. I'm not quite sure which one is. It says right here. Setback, rear is 8 feet. Excuse me. Side setback is 8 feet. Rear setback is 5 feet. So that's scheduled to go to ZBA on the 17th of March. 2 other variances that we got, which were actually variances of approved variances. The first one was Jeff Senecal at 532 James Street. He had an approval for an apartment add-on to the back of his house, 2 stories, 4 units. He has come back and wants to do 1 story, 4 units. I talked to the planning board chair. He basically said it's got to go through complete review with the board, and that is slated for March 6th. So all the notifications and things, I'll get to that. Wall Street, 250 Wall, which is French Creek, Wilbur, the foundation. He had a previous approval for a cottage colony of some 24, 36 manufactured homes. He's actually just looking to change the design of the cottage from a, I don't know what the original was. It was a wood, prefab wood structure. They're gonna build it, you know, like we see all the barns and things like that they put up, to what they call these park homes, which are self-contained units that come in, get set. They're actually fairly attractive. I know a couple are down at Swan Bay. So I'm still waiting for information on that. He's going to have to go to the hearing again on the 6th. Inquiries and things that I am working on. Tilio's got back to me about the staining on the alleyway by his building and onto Riverside. Said he's going to take care of it himself come springtime, and I was fine with that. I'll have to do a follow-up, just to make sure that when is springtime. It's not July type of thing. Our position is that that's got to be rectified before the real kickoff of the season. Let's see. I got a redundant part here about the French Creek meetings that we had. The Arts Center construction coordination meeting. We did have a kickoff, I think in January, that went very well with the village, ourselves, the police, and Black Horse, and then we had some communication that was working well, and then it wasn't working well. All right. All of a sudden, we were getting communication from people not involved in the project, wanting to be involved in the project. We have reinstituted a mandatory meeting every Friday between myself, Terry, and Black Horse John, just so that we have correct coordination. One of the issues we were having was snowplow, their road closures. They were doing a full road closure when they were supposed to do a single lane closure. So there was just some miscommunication. We've asked for a 2-week look-ahead schedule that we'll talk about every Friday. Basically, it's going to what you do this week, what are you doing next week, so we're informed. And that was well received. Property visits, again, the Arts Center, the ABM construction, they very limited work at all. I think they're just heating the pad for maybe the concrete they put in. Eagle Shop is kind of a self-contained construction. They really haven't done anything to the exterior. They're still doing interior. So really no action on my part other than the drive-bys. Cartier, James, and Wall Street visits, primarily put the signs up. Administrative actions I took this last month was the LWRP kickoff meeting that we had, which was on the 11th. First phase of work is going to be, an RFP is going to be issued for what it's going to take to rewrite the LWRP. So we'll be involved in that creation. Then my notices. So I had Cartier, I had James Street, and I had Wall Street. So these are all just to document the steps that I have to take for any given variance that has to go to publication. It goes to the paper. I do neighbor mailings. I do the posting with the sandwich sign, placard. I email to the ZBA and to the town, or for James Street and Wall Street, it'll be to email to the planning board. So that's just to document that I did take those actions. I did meet those deadlines of the 10 days prior to the meeting. So I just wanted to use that as a communication tool. And that was pretty much it. I'm sure there was a couple odds and ends that occurred, but I didn't note them. So they weren't noteworthy. So any questions?
I had just one quick question
Sure.
on the Pepe subdivision that's up tonight. The property is being split. The one that's left over, that meets all requirements. Is that how they did the split?
It hasn't been split.
No, it hasn't
They're
been split.
asking
It's
for
per-
a subdivision.
They're asking.
Yeah,
They're
they're asking. So the drawing I have is that if they split the property, neither property meets the requirements of the 15,000 square feet for that residential district.
So won't the variance have to be for both?
Correct.
And the one that's left, now the one that he's creating new is 10,000. What is?
They're both, all right, one is 10,000, it should be one here. One's 10,000, the other one is 14. So, I did indicate that I had a problem with that I didn't think that you could split a property into two properties that don't meet the requirement. And I asked him to look at what it would take to move the dividing line that he's proposing to make one property compliant and then do a variance for the other property. Does he do that tonight? I don't know, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, well, that's why I brought it up, because it seems to me that one of the requirements would be that the property that was split off from would still retain, its compatibility with the code.
Yep. I only provide what has been requested, and I give him my 2 cents for all that's worth, which is -2 now, I think. And I told him that I thought there was going to be an issue with dividing a property into two and not meeting code for either one. But the zoning board will make that final determination. I have spoken to the zoning board to let them know when I do send out the email notification, I kind of spell it out. This is what he has, this is what he's trying to do, and these are going to be the results.
Right, as long as the board gets informed that both properties are now.
Yep.
Now, in a case like that, does it end up being 2 application fees because you're actually, splitting?
No, I just use one application fee. It's a subdivision of one line.
Right, but 2 non-conforming.
Yeah.
Got it. Thanks. Great, thorough job as usual. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Good luck tonight. Or have fun, whichever. Any questions on the police report? Any questions on DPW? Terry is not here tonight, as you see.
Just want to thank Terry and his crew for cleaning up after a really big storm. They did a great job. And so did all of the neighbors. Also, I just want to say, you see everybody getting out with their snow shovels to clear their own sidewalks, but also, going out to help neighbors out and extend their snow blower path or shoveling path to the corner to their neighbor's house. And just appreciate living in a village like that. Good job.
That people did better this snowfall than
Yep.
other snowfalls. And I think what we're gonna start doing for next year with this is, every week, the chamber puts out a membership information, and we're gonna start putting that onto their membership information about doing your sidewalks. Because it seems to take a long time for certain people to get involved in it. And I know people say, well, it just snowed, it's the first one. It's gonna snow every year. And it's gonna be done.
Now you're so pessimistic.
Well, I am. No, I'm not. That's reality right there, yes. So,
I
Yes, go ahead.
heard from one resident that she just moved to the area and she didn't know and da-da-da, and she got a bill, is there a way for new residents to, I don't know, if we can send them a first warning or something like that, so that people that just don't know and they just moved to town, I don't know what the
we do
process would be.
sometimes. It depends. There are times that generally oftentimes with the first snowfall, they get the sidewalk taken care of, and it's a pass.
Okay. But with a note or something, or, because,
Well, we don't bill them.
yeah. No, I know, but if you don't know, you might go, oh, great, they do it for you.
Well, I think there has to be some responsibility on the homeowner also.
Yeah. Oh, I
And,
do too.
You know, I had talked to someone from Cape Vincent, and she said the same thing. I didn't know we were supposed to do my sidewalks. I said, you go away all winter, they're your sidewalks, you need to take care of them. That's not my problem, so there are people that, they're clueless
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that. The sidewalk belongs, is the homeowners.
Oh, I agree. No,
And
I'm
they
just talking
have
about
to do
you
that,
people.
they have to put in a new sidewalk, they're the ones responsible to take care of the sidewalk. And I think that, my personal thought, it should come from the realtor, not the village,
Right.
but I can't make those
Although
changes.
annually, the village gives out a warning with your fall water bill that says, here are the rules, and it's in the village
Oh, well, there you go.
ordinances. And I don't know how many more times we can say it, or, you know.
Yeah. Good.
And that's why I thought, well, next year we'll just put it on every couple of weeks onto the chamber site. Both
Yeah, no,
for
that's good.
downtown
That's a great
businesses
idea.
and
Yeah.
residential.
Yeah.
keep
And also,
it
I
fresh in
wasn't aware
people's
that it was
minds.
in the water bill.
Yeah. on
So
the
that's
back.
great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's really no argument there, right?
And plus, I think I put it on the.
Oh, it gets put on the website.
Yeah.
It's not like
Oh,
this
it's
is
on
a new,
Facebook too now.
we have this conversation every year.
Yeah.
You'll have it next one too.
Yep. Yep.
And by the way, this is, every village up and down the river requires this, so we're not special.
Oh, no, I know, but I just knew people, you know, someone said they didn't know, and they had $100 bill or whatever it was. Yeah, it's relaying it, but yeah, I didn't know it was in the water. So,
Did everyone have an opportunity to look at the revised B&L contract?
For the part that I asked to be changed out, it's fine, but Ryan had most of the corrections with him.
And as you all know, I wasn't there, so I don't know, I don't know. Was it taken care of?
Unfortunately, I don't think, with that recently mailed to us?
I sent it out to you beginning of last week, I believe. I mean, did you get it, Trustee Riddoff?
Yes.
All right, so you got it, Ron.
Yeah, I must have missed it.
I missed it too. You know, it's probably there.
It was February 20th, and it's called Gardner Street over Goose.
Oh,
Well, no.
If somebody read it,
I mean, I'd like you
implemented everything.
to at least to peruse it before the end of the meeting so that we can get it voted on and signed, as opposed to waiting 2 more weeks.
I have a hard copy. Do you want?
I mean, we can approve it at the end of the meeting. Doesn't have to be done right now if you're not ready.
I'm sure it's fine. I just wanted to check the few sections there that
Yeah, I would like you to,
it was
yes,
rewritten in.
yes. Yeah, I would like you to.
I'm sorry for missing that. I
Okay.
went through a lot of thought.
Yeah, it's tough because if
I wasn't
somebody
on
responds, then it doesn't come up as a new.
Well, this one, no one responded to, it was
I
just a
see.
forward.
So it was in an email update?
No, no one responded to anything.
Yeah,
It was just a forward from DPW.
Yeah, pin 77543.
I don't think you got it,
You don't think so?
no. Mike got it, I did.
Well, then that's.
Trustee
Oh,
Mike
yeah,
got
it says.
Oh, my apologies.
They're excluding.
My apologies, I didn't mean to exclude you, I hit the wrong.
still on our
email system?
Yeah. That's not good.
Oh,
That was usually
they are,
pretty
but
thorough.
they can't, they don't have access.
So the first page is all the changes that you guys requested.
Yeah.
So we'll move on and Ron will peruse as needed, how's that? And then we'll come
Sounds
back.
good.
So do we have any questions on the consent agenda, items 1 through 4?
No.
And could we have a
I'll make the-
motion for
I'll
that,
make the
please?
motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And any comment on the capital projects?
No.
Could we have a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Let's see, we need a motion to accept and acknowledge that we got the December financials for 2024.
December and January.
Can we do both of them at the same time?
We'll do them separately, because they're
Yeah,
separate
yeah.
years. Could I have a motion for December of 24?
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And also the motion for the January 25th.
I'll make that motion also.
And a second?
I'll second it again.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. So at the last meeting, the bill had come up for the payment of the cameras, and you all understood that now.
Yep.
What had been brought up roughly a year and a half, 2 years ago, before the contract was done, et cetera, was in order to help pay for that, if we chose some cameras, such as cameras that view out onto the water, and put them either on a YouTube channel or on our website, people love to see that, especially the people the summertime people. But we could also come up with a advertising/marketing program for that, for businesses, put a little tagline in. Is that something that you'd be interested in looking into?
Yeah, so basically.
I don't have any of the
Yeah,
specifics
so if
yet.
I'm watching, I can go and I can check
Yeah,
out the
yeah.
camera.
So we'll just
and
say
then you
camera
could
2 is
say
sponsored by
whatever.
Clayton
Right,
Chiropractic.
yeah,
Camera
Yeah,
3 is
it's worth-
sponsored by the Little Bookshop.
yeah, it's worth,
We're open every day of the week, or
Yep.
something of that nature.
I think it's worth it, and then it's income that helps offset.
Yeah,
the
that would
cost of
help
the camera.
offset the cost of the
Yeah.
cameras, yes.
I mean, it has to be a reasonable price, but I think that
Well,
you
sure.
can do that. 'Cause
No,
it-
we wouldn't.
And it's not that much, you know what I mean, so, yeah, I think that.
No, but it's a good marketing tool for
Oh,
the
I know, but I'm
community.
saying that our cost
Oh,
is not
no,
very
it's
much.
not too bad.
Yeah, so
No.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay, I will look into that then, alrighty.
Would it make sense to try to do it in conjunction with the chamber somehow, so that, because they,
We'll
I don't know,
see.
so we don't have to deal with all the logistics of it?
We'll see, because there are cameras.
Yeah, but maybe, yeah,
So I don't want to get the chamber, but I'll pull the chamber in. They can help with sending information out on their member-to-member. They might help with some pricing, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah, we could even.
But I
go
won't do anything
Like 5%
until-
or something, if they solicit that, you know, they get it all and everything in the process.
I don't know if you can do that, but
Yeah,
we'll get people, I'll get them involved this
Yeah.
meeting. All right. And then the Tug Hill Conference is Tuesday, April the 1st. Has anyone looked at that information? And if anyone wants to go, you need to let Joanne know by February 28th, which is just a few days away. Because then we get the early bird discount. We save a few bucks.
Did they send out a booklet showing the training or anything?
I don't know if you all got one, I don't know. I got this one, but I don't know if everyone's gotten one.
I think it's on the nighttime.
Yeah, okay, so what we'll do before the meeting's over is to Xerox this page and hand it out to everyone.
oh, great.
And then you can take that home. We have a joint meeting on March the 10th at 5 o'clock. Is all I have to say. Do any of the board members, Trustee McDowell?
The chamber meeting was not held this month because it didn't have a quorum. But hopefully I'll get it cranked up next month when
Sure.
everybody gets back to Florida.
Gotcha. Trustee Kinney?
Yeah, we're having our next task force meeting on Wednesday where we're going over the document to make sure it's all, the whatever that is, 5.19, in the process of getting the bronze certification. And, yeah, I've already got some feedback from Bridget, so.
Yes. And I've read it, but we'll discuss it
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Wednesday.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yep.
Yes. Trustee Ritter?
Unmemorial Library had a meeting on February 19th at 5, and there were lots of reviews of policies and updates. That's all I have to report.
They're good with their policies. They spent a good year putting them together, and they're good with it. Trustee Duford?
The only thing I have is that the mayor and I, we had a meeting for Teamsters contract talks and continuing.
Yes. and we'll have executive session tonight to bring everybody up to speed. No decisions will be made tonight, but we'll bring everyone up to speed.
And then reiterating, Dave, we're talking about getting a RFP out for LWRP.
Well, he doesn't, yes. And you received that today, I believe, in your email. Super, thank you. Any public comments? Nick? Mr. Boyansky?
I just had to think, when you talk about sidewalks, the other day when I was walking downtown, by the Lyric Theater, the crosswalk there going toward the post office, wasn't, you couldn't enter because it was
Too
filled
much
with
snow. Yeah.
And plowed the other side of it, but not that side.
You know, what happens down there, and I'm not suggesting that any snow blocks, banks are accurate, but what happens is there's just not enough room. And as you see, we are out clearing as much as we can. If you went down Mary Street the last 6 days by the local establishment down there, cars were parked almost in one lane because they couldn't get in. We have cleared that today. Yes.
It's dangerous kind of crosswalk.
Oh, I don't disagree with you.
Because
Yeah.
you had to walk up out in the road, and down
And
there
when
it's
that
kinda busy.
happens also, a lot of that can happen when there's some private driveways in between these buildings. And when they clear those driveways out, they leave, a lot of people leave a lot of junk there.
And I want to say one thing, I think I've seen more sidewalk shopping than have been.
Good.
Because I know one person that got a letter and say, he's going to be fine.
Yeah,
He was
absolutely.
fine, so.
Yes, yes. Mr. Frickman, do you have anything to say?
Glad to be here. I'm a permanent resident now in the village. And during the storm, I saw Terry Jones going out to Washington Island a couple different times, just going out there. So it's, very vigilant man, and his compliments to the job he did clearing the snow for sure.
Mr. Jones fortunately does not just sit behind his desk all day.
Oh, no,
He gets
absolutely.
out and gets his
Very
truck
hands-on
moving
individual.
and pitches in with the guys all the time.
Yeah,
He's very
so
good.
glad to be here.
Super.
Excellent.
Okay, well, we're gonna go into executive session now. Thank you all for attending, and someone wanna make a motion for executive?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session to, what's it called? Discuss
What time is
personnel
it?
issues.
It is 5:47.
I'll second it.
Any,